It's the New Year's Day edition of Things You Might Not Have Heard. I am Jay Clifton Payne. 8 stories in the queue for you. Yeah, we're running a little late today. Had to actually get a little sleep and prep for the New Year's Day festivities. I've cooked the whole traditional meal, so that's already being worked on. But we do have for you, a little slow, but we're here, 8 news stories from the past day yesterday, including one, a breaking news story from literally early this morning that basically overtook everything. It's taking over all the news coverage. In a week that should have been very slow news, a second week of very slow news, extremely disturbing news happening with New Orleans being covered, plus covering from Steve Bannon, because you got to cover him. And Nippon still may have some sort of idea to help us figure themselves out. It's 5 other stories as well, 8 stories that you help deem conversational. They cover current events, pop culture, politics, and informational news. We'll explain the full vetting process after the 8 headlines, but remind you right now that our website, this is theconversationproject.com. We want you to make sure you visit that because you get more details on how we do things for the Conversation Project and some more better media, greater stuff as well. And the conversation inbox at gmail.com is our email address to talk to us, chat with us anytime you're into it. As I already said, it's January 1st, 2025. That should say 5, but it is Wednesday, and we are sticking off New Year's with a, hate to say it, but with a bang, not a whimper. Starting off with this big headline that will be big headline for the day, if not a couple of days. The headline reads, a truck crashes into New Orleans New Year's Eve crowd, leaving 10 dead and 30 injured. In the early hours of this first day of January, a tragic event happened in the French Quarter in New Orleans. During a pickup truck drove into a large crowd at the intersection of Canal and Bourbon Streets, resulting in at least 10 fatalities and 30 injuries. As you expect, Bourbon Street and Canal Street, that intersection, very busy as the festivities for New Year's Eve. Festivities any night are there. New Year's Eve is extremely special because it's New Year's Eve, it's New Orleans, and the Sugar Bowl, normally played on the 1st of January, it means a lot big crowd in there for town to see a big football game, and that game this year, part of the college football championship. So 2 of the biggest teams in the nation are playing, a lot of people with eyeballs on that, a lot of eyes on New Orleans. So this is a big deal for them having to deal with this incident from New Year's Eve. And now incidents they may think may pop up from the football game. Witnesses reported the vehicle crashed through barricades at high speeds. After the collision, the driver exited the truck and began firing a weapon, leading to exchange of gunfire with police. 2 officers were injured during the confrontation. They are currently in stable condition. The driver was killed by police subsequently, something that we now know confirmed by many sources. The injured were transported to many hospitals around the area. The scene is now closed down. There's very few times when New Orleans and Bourbon Street is shut down, but the mayor and the police chief and the FBI, who are taking this over as a terrorist attack, although the label gets a little weird back and forth what's going on, have basically shut down canals, that corner Canal and Bourbon Street is closed. Canal Street is actually a fairly major thoroughfare for people getting around, getting through the area. So having that area blocked off right now for the investigation is not only an oddity, but it just is just sort of, it's an inconvenience to many folks who live in the area. Bourbon Street is an area where people actually live. It's a hub for hospitality, but a lot of people live and just commute through the area as it is. So it's not just a party place. It's an actual place where people live. We will find out more about this one, of course, over coming days. No, the terrorist attack is basically being labeled because an IED was found in the pickup truck that the man drove into the crowd. So they are to find out if that suspected IED is live. The fact that he drove deliberately through the barricades, not a drunk driving situation. And of course, he pulled a gun out when he got there. This man was planning on mass action, and it happened. We are definitely going to keep up with this one all day, and updates. We'll give you updates here throughout the day as things come around. But this is going to be something that will keep us all glued to TVs, radios, however you get your internets and your phones all day long. Let's move on to international/domestic issues that may be bigger than they should be, or may actually be fixed, as Nippon Steel actually offers U.S. government some oversight in its bid for the U.S. Steel acquisition. A proposed $14.9 billion acquisition of U.S. Steel is currently being under review by the U.S. authorities from Nippon Steel because of national security concerns for national security. The Committee on Foreign Investment and United States did not reach a consensus on the deal, referring it to President Joe Biden, who's going to make the decision on the 7th of January before he gets out. So Biden has a lot of big things to kind of work out before the 20th when he's no longer actual president. To address these concerns, Nippon Steel offered the U.S. government a veto power over any future reductions in U.S. steel production, and basically committed this for 10 years. So for 10 years, the U.S. can say Nippon Steel can't actually make less steel or do less stuff. They have that veto power and they're working. It's only 10 years, so there's that. But they do offer this little sort of carrot to hopefully help the U.S. get a better deal on thinking about doing this and letting this go forward. Right now, there are people in U.S. Steel who need this to happen because U.S. Steel is not making any money, and the people who work there need the jobs. Nippon Steel can bolster it up with getting more resources, adding more time, maybe some expertise to make things a better place to work. And with this veto power thing, we'll see what happens going forward with that one. Of course, as I said, Biden has till the 7th of January to figure this thing out. We shall see if the sale goes through. Of course, Donald Trump, the president-elect, has also said he sees issues with this. We all see issues with this. But how do you make it work when the people that need to be bought because they need that to survive, but the people who are buying you are friendly now, but you never actually know? Very big concerns as a Canadian team with H5N1, the bird flu strain that he has very concerning mutations. We're hearing about this one. We've heard new words about the mutations in the person who has it in New Orleans, and now we have another case in Canada where a teenager in November actually contracted H5N1, which is bird flu, and a new genetic analysis shows that the mutations can enhance the ability to infect humans by adapting to human upper airway cells, essentially making it so that breathing out the virus and in breathing into the virus will spread it directly, not just contact with birds, but actually from human to human. These mutations have developed during the course of the individual's infection rather than present in the virus at the time of transmission. So just like New Orleans, we're finding that while inside the body, the virus is mutating so it can spread itself better through its host that it has. So it's basically what we're seeing is, anecdotally, chickens are spreading it to cows and cows are spreading it to other cows. That's how cows are getting it. Birds obviously spread it to other birds. And as other animals are getting it, it's mutating so that animals of similar bent or humans as animals can spread it easily to other animals of other bents as humans. This is concerning. This is big. We're hearing various sources and various stories on us, U.S., and the world, not quite being prepared for this one, especially after COVID merely a few years ago, but we shall see. The New York police have identified the woman that was set on fire in the subway incident from a few weeks ago. Happening on this 22nd of December at around 7:30 in the morning, a 57-year-old woman, Debrina Kawan, was fatally attacked while sleeping on a stationary F train at Coney Island, Stillwell Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. The assailant was 33-year-old Guatemalan national Sebastian Zapata Cali, who set her clothing on fire and actually fanned the flames to basically resulting in her death from thermal and inhalation injuries. She basically burned to death and inhaled the smoke in the same time. So that's what the full extent of her injuries are. Of course, Betty Hill was deported from the United States in 2018 and re-entered illegally, so he should not be here, charged with first-degree murder, second-degree murder, and first-degree arson, and being held off bail. Kawan, who was residing in Toms River, New Jersey, has been staying in New York City's homeless centers since September. Her identity was confirmed through her fingerprint and dental records due to the severity of her burns. We are glad to actually have a identification of the woman. We are sorry for her plight, and we're definitely sorry for her loss of life in this system. This whole incident is bringing a lot of issue towards the dangers of the subway in New York City, which is an ongoing thing for people who live there, and the plight of homelessness in a way that it really should not be, in a way that should be more engaging in getting more people better places to stay in these issues and getting them more stable, as opposed to a homeless person kills a homeless person. So many people are sort of in the thought process of, why should I care? Which is the really sad part about this. We will definitely be sticking with this one, as we're going to stick with the story on Zapata Khalil, because he's a legal migrant, here illegally, and he killed someone, because that's what the story headline is going to basically blow into, as opposed to the homelessness that is out there. Take a moment on this first day of January, first day of 2025, to thank you guys and ask you for a quick little favor. If you're enjoying what you're doing, if you're brand new here, because this normally doesn't come out this late in the day, but if this popped up in your feed on a later day as you're getting up from your festivities last night, we thank you for being here. This is a program we produce every single weekday that allows you to have a say in the news being produced, conversation, if you will. We'll explain how the whole process works, but these are stories that people out there like you helped us deem were worthy of chatting up. If you want to help us out, easy, free, costs you just a little bit of time and the effort to be engaged. Like the video, like our videos on our feed. Share this video with other people you think might like the news coverage and the commentary. My commentary is my own views, and I'll tell you exactly what they are, but we try to give you a nice swath of engaging and not just the straight up news. We're going to be talking about this guy driving through the crowd in New Orleans most of the morning. So a lot of stories won't be taken up. We had the slow news days. We found news to give people out there, so you had things to talk about, things that seemed like they were fringe and off the beaten track, but we search all the aggregators to see what we can do to give you great stories. Thank you for that one. If you like what you're seeing, like it. If you think other people you know might like it, share it. If you have not joined the crew yet, not been a part of the family officially, come on in, subscribe so you don't miss out on us in your feeds, whether you're watching us on this particular thing on X, on Facebook, or on YouTube. Thank you so much. Like, share, and subscribe. Get more people in the queue so we have a better group of people to respond to. We're at 1,600 or so different subscribers right now. Want to try to get up in the next month to hit that 1,700 by the end of January, hopefully 1,800 if we can get on that right track. You can help us make that happen. Making things happen is Britney Spears, who had a joyous reconnection with her son Jayden, calling him a miracle and a genius for a holiday reunion. This is the best picture we have. All the pictures we have are basically baby pictures of her or this selfie they took together. And so the 18-year-old son, Jayden James, Britney Spears' son with Kevin Federline, they're back together after 2 years of not seeing each other after the move to Hawaii and all this stuff with that going on. Mother and son spent Christmas together, marking a significant moment in their relationship. Spears shared her joy on Instagram, posting a video of the reunion, expressing the happiness in the caption. Of course, best Christmas of my life. Haven't seen my boys in 2 years. Tears of joy and literally in shock every day. Cuckoo crazy, so in love and blessed. I'm speechless. Thank you, Jesus. Without the punctuation, which is where I read it. So it may seem like how I normally read things, but note that's how she posted on Instagram. The video showed her dressed in a red off-the-shoulder dress, introducing Jayden to her followers, calling him my baby, and they both wished the viewers Merry Christmas. This comes as a period of extreme estrangement happened when Jayden and his older brother, Preston, Sean Preston, who lived with their father, relocated to Hawaii literally last year. And there's questions of child support and just not being together. But the younger son has joined in with her mother for Christmas this year, and she is pleased with that one. No word on any sparks with Kevin Federline or the older brother going forward. Now, this is one that got a little interesting as we posted to here. We've been talking about Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively for the weeks that this has been happening, since the get-go initially. Now, what I have here is the headline from earlier in the day. Justin Baldoni's lawyer says the truth about Blake Lively's legal complaint will expose those who believe themselves untouchable. What I have is a link to a People magazine article that has the update on the fact that Blake Lively actually is suing Baldoni officially. Official lawsuit on the case. First, she was complaining about sexual harassment to folks. She's actually filed a lawsuit. So the story and headline technically don't reach, but Baldoni is still going to get his say. Let me read what the robot editor has given us to talk about here and expand on this one more than I should, because this is a story that shouldn't be happening, but it is. Blake Lively has filed an actual lawsuit against the Ends With Us co-star and director Justin Baldoni, alleging sexual harassment, retaliation, breach of contract, emotional distress, and lost wages. Lively claims that Baldoni engaged in inappropriate behavior on set, including showing explicit pictures and making offensive comments to her at her. She also alleges that after raising concerns, Baldoni and his team initiated a smear campaign to tarnish her reputation. In response, Baldoni has denied all allegations, with his attorney describing them as false and slanderous. He's also filed a lawsuit already against the New York Times with a libel suit, $250 million in that one. He's now being sued by Lively, so whether there's countersuits there, we shall see. But he has said, and his lawyer is saying, he said the allegations are false. His lawyer is saying, as they bring this thing out to the open public, they're going to show that the people out there are lying. And the people out there who think they're untouchable, that think they can't be brought into the situation and brought down, will be brought down in the process of freeing the name of Baldoni. This has taken way more time than I would expect it in something like the Conversation Project. I guess because the Donald Trump stuff has been relatively the same, so it's really hard to add in that one. We have some Trump stuff going on in a bit. And the Joe Biden stuff is very, very quiet as he's sort of counting his days and making his way out slowly. So politically, we don't have a lot going on. We have all the going-ons that doesn't really add to the conversation, so we haven't really been updating it. This one is juicy. Unfortunately, it also deals with people's personal lives and professional lives and is really too ugly that we really don't need for this beginning of the new year. But this is what we want to talk about. This is what you want to talk about. This is a conversational topic. We're going to keep talking Baldoni and Lively for quite some time, especially now that it's been put into the court's hands. Not a real Trump update, but update with what's going on behind the scenes and actually extending the H-1B visa drama, as Steve Bannon wants to have MAGA reparations over the dispute. The former White House chief strategist has intensified his criticism of the H-1B visa program. He calls it a scam and displaces a scam that displaces American workers in favor of foreign workers who will come in for lower wages. We've had that debate before. We talked it over and over again. We have to keep talking about it because, new people come into the chat. But we've talked about that. H-1B visas bring in people from foreign countries who have specialized skills. They have special skills and bachelor's degrees, specialized education, to work jobs here in the States, tying them to a company. And because they're tied to a company, the company can pay them lower wages because they can, and deny a job from a person here in the States. And that's where the argument is. He targeted tech leaders like Elon Musk for supporting the program, accusing them of undermining American employment opportunities. Bannon's remark have deepened the divisions within the MAGA movement, as there's now a MAGA civil war, they're saying. There's a rift between the immigration hardliners, essentially we don't want none of them, and proponents of skilled labor and tech industry. We want folks that aren't from the SO countries that can help us out for free or cheap, something like that. There's where we sit right now in that case. Steve Bannon extending the life of this argument. Of course, Trump says they're cool, but we're not sure he quite understands what exactly he's cool about. Now, we're going to wrap this thing up with a bit of fun, a bit of football, and a little bit of a heartbreak as Boise State made its way into the college football championship as a number 3 seed, the top conference winner up there. They didn't get the bye week, but they got the bye week, and from that, they got the loss to Penn State. Big time. They also got the loss, but they also got a chance to make history with this one player, Ashton, Jeanty, and he didn't quite make it, falling just short of Barry Sanders' NCAA rushing record, where even Barry Sanders was on the X saying, come on, Jeanty, do it, Jeanty. You got this, Jeanty, because records are meant to be broken. It is what it is. You hold it for a while, but as you get to old age, you look for that next guy who can overtake you, unless you're OJ and don't want anyone to take in your stuff, pun intended. But Boise State running back Ashton Jeanty concluded his remarkable 2024 season 28 yards shy of breaking Barry Sanders' single-season rushing record. The Fiesta Bowl against Penn State, they actually lost the game as well, which made it even worse and really sad. He had a season-low 104 yards on 30 carries, bringing his season total to 2,601, with the record being shy of those said 28 yards that stood by for since 1988. Despite the narrow miss, his performance is still historic. He's one of the most normal players in the game, placing him at the high echelon and right there at number 2 on the all-time list. So you can't take that away from him. Plenty of accolades and awards he's won. And, of course, the big award that he really wanted to win was that game to move ahead in the college football championship. Boise State not going forward. Penn State is the first team in, as 3 other games, including, as we said earlier, the Sugar Bowl happening on today. A fun day for me because I get to cook, I get to watch football, I get to chat with my friends and talk dirty stuff about the SEC, because there's still 2 teams in, even if one of those teams is Texas, which really makes no sense. But we are very happy for this future millionaire because we're pretty sure that Jeanty's going to have a good say in where he gets to go at the next level. or somebody's going to pay a lot more money to pay at college end of the year. I'm not sure what his actual classification. I think he's a junior, but we'll see more of Mr. Jeanty playing football probably on Sundays fairly soon. And that means Barry Sanders, we love you still, and somebody's got to make it up to that record. We'll see who the next extra great guy is going to be, because I know you're looking for, as a fan, someone to hit that mark and take that record from you, which is cool, very cool. Now we're going to talk about our teaser story. We transition from the actual headlines into what is the teaser, or the explanation of how we get stories into the queue, how we get stories for you here today. Now, where do they come from? Good question. And the answer is the internet, or specifically other news sites and aggregators. We look at other aggregators and other direct news sites and just sometimes just comb the web for just random things. Watch a lot of news, do a lot of stuff. I'm a news junkie, so I'm picking up in various places here or there. And we post these stories to you. Excuse me, as headlines about every 50 minutes or so all day long. So what do you do with them? You engage with them. You tell us what stories are worthy of the chit chat here on the show. And in other places, other videos, things that we do. So every 50 minutes or so, you go to X or go to Facebook, x.com/th_conversation and facebook.com/thisisconversationproject. And what you see is those news stories, headlines, and links from various sources. USA Today, ABC News, Fox News, and CNBC, CSI New York, maybe. We have sources all over the place. Some of them you may love, some of you may not love. Some of them, the story headlines have seemed kind of weird. And some of them you're going to jump on because you're going to love the story. And that's what you do. You jump on it, you engage in it because you love, hate, or want more engagement in the story. You tell us what story we should be talking about on these shows every single weekday morning. 8 stories are picked up from the top half of stories in the day. So we get about 30 stories in a day's time, about 30 hours worth of time. Midnight to about 3 in the morning. And then what you get from that is 15, 16 stories, top half. From there, we go through those, pick 8 stories that are the best narrative. Some don't make it, obviously, but if you think we got the right ones, let us know. If you think we have the wrong ones, let us know. If you're wondering why we're not talking about something, we can talk about whether we've actually posted it like a little early and it didn't get any responses when we post it back again. Our email address, of course, is theconversationinbox@gmail.com. Let me know how well I'm doing with these things. Oh, by the way, what are we teasing for tomorrow? The U.S. is poised to see a dramatic drop in homicides for its 3rd straight year. Crime is not as bad as it was. It still might be bad where you are, but statistically, the numbers being reported is saying that crime is not so bad, relatively, and homicides across the U.S. have dropped for the 3rd straight year. Not just low, but dropped, so they've gotten lower in 3 years straight. For some reason, COVID was a big time for random homicides. I'm not going to put any jokes in that one. It just seemed like coming into COVID, they were in, and coming out of COVID, they're now dropping for whatever reason. We shall see what happens going forward, and we shall see if we'll talk about this as one of the headline stories tomorrow in the cast. Now, we teased yesterday Justin Baldoni's lawyer and the truth and exposing those untouchables, and you guys got to that one. But as I said, the story turned into a bigger, better, bolder story as Blake Lively actually dropped her actual new lawsuit against Baldoni directly, and not just saying he did these things. She put it into court filings. We're going to keep up with that one for a while, so I don't have to tease that, but we're teasing the story on homicides going down 3 years in a row. Is that interesting enough for you? You let me know in the comments, and of course, your engagement to the story on the feeds. Today's sponsor is Flowers Fast. We spent a whole week in December, the week before Christmas, to remind you that Flowers Fast was a great way to get gifts to people, just in case you needed it as we roll to that time of year where some people tend to forget. For people who may have needed something on 2 days out, they could have got flowers to people same day and maybe FedEx stuff next day right before the event. They also promised, FedEx also promised some same day delivery. So you could have got things right on time. But whenever you need a gift or just to show someone you care, Flowers Fast is something to keep in your pocket because they take care of you and take care of us as an affiliate link. Go to thisistheconversationproject.com/flowersfast. Get flower bouquets that are often, they're changed up pretty often. They'll have some new things for New Year now that you can send to people that you love, people that you like, people that are clients, people that are friends, people you need to just send some response to with flowers that come in most cases same day through the FTD network. And if you want to send something a bit more exotic, a bit more tasty, if you will, they also have little gift sets that are like, teddy bears, things like that, and food sets, cookies, and the whole summer sausage type stuff. And they're really, really going for these Oreos that are have pictures on them. These direct decorated covered Oreos. They love that stuff, and you would love them too. And the person you send them to may get them as well. For baby showers, for birthdays, for anniversaries, they have something for you that says those things to you, to them, to whomever, and you can take care of it for a great price and literally fast. A early morning order gets in by middle of the day, afternoon, because of FTD floors around the nation. So they can take care of it, and the packages are sent FedEx. Most of them are next day. They're there. So whether you need it in a jam or you have plenty of time to set this thing up, Flowers Fast is your florist for your needs going forward. And there are florists, and they help us out by giving us a small commission from your purchase. You pay nothing extra. The prices are very, very, very good, and we get just a bit of cut off the top for the referral fee. Check them out at thisisaconversationproject.com/flowersfast. This is aconversationproject.com/flowersfast. Get your flowers or your summer sausage pretty quickly to them using this service. And thank you for supporting us. Quick bout of conversation or quick bout of promotion to say for the Conversation Project and our website. This is theconversationproject.com. Stop by our website and see what we do, because we do it literally every day, 5 days a week, even on holidays, because I'm a glutton for punishment. My time in broadcasting and news back then was like, the day off just means the day that I have to go do all the stuff myself and make sure everything is running, because you got to spend a couple times getting some news out for my news background. That's what I'm doing here today. That's what I'm doing for you. Conversation doesn't stop. So hopefully you have some enjoyment on your YouTube, on your X, on your Facebook, and other things to keep you going as you may have some time off. You may be enjoying us for maybe the first time. If you are a first time or you're here watching this thing right at this point, thank you so much for being with us. Follow us at our website. This is theconversationproject.com, and find out more about what we do. Follow us on our feeds. We talked about that earlier. Like, share, subscribe. Talked about that earlier. We have links on our website that have past episodes, so you can kind of see what we're doing, some stories you covered already, links for more sponsors, links for our partnerships link. And if you're watching us on YouTube, there's a button under the video for joining. You can join the memberships, which basically are copies of the partnership levels. They're actually a little bit less, but we still need the funds. So if you want to support us for a little less than the partnership stuff, you can get those things, and they allow you to make sure you get the videos post haste a little quicker. Sometimes with some videos get put on delay, you get them member first on top of that. So take care of that stuff. And just hang out with us. We're on many of the socials, so find us on the socials. Let us know if that's a better place for us to do more stuff. We'll do what we can. We send videos down TikTok, the short videos. We start sending some of the longer form stuff because it does long form, and we're seeing some response from that. But we serve you. We being me, Jay Cleveland Payne, and a few friends I have that that do some work here, there, and volunteer level. We're looking for more support in the next year because we have big plans going forward, and so that means more engagement from you and hopefully more support in the way of resources. I've said that out loud. So if you want to help us out with those resources, I want to hire some people, full-time engagement for regular engagement, to help us out with some editing, with some writing, with some post stuff that we want to make sure things are better. We want to grow and be a better channel, and a better looking channel, and a greater channel. And bare bones stuff is great, but we want to make sure we're offering stuff for more people and have more people in. So we want you, I got to ask you to, get more folks to subscribe, more folks to watch and like and all that stuff, and consider partnership, joining, sponsorship, and just being a part of the crowd that helps us move things along. Over 1,600 current subscribers on YouTube. That's the big thing we gauge there. We like to be double that at the end of the year. We're not going to over. Someone said we bet 100,000 end of the year. I think that person was probably drinking. We would just want to double what we have this year. Last year we earned about 400 to 500 subscribers, somewhere in that number there, in that span of time. We got that first 1,000 and continued on going forward. This year we want to be at 3,000. We want to hit that number. Help us hit that number this year, and help us. God help us. Help me remember to change these chyrons, change these things. It is 2025. We didn't go back in time. We are in 2025, January 1st, 2025. Thank you so much for being with us for this first day of this new year. hopefully the last year wasn't as bad for some as it was for others. We've had sort of a troubled time getting through it, but we're here. We survived. We're the next day. We're here. In 2025, we are projecting greater things going forward. If you want to be part of those greater things, we ask you to just stop by, watch the videos, like them. If you have the means and have the tendency to do that, become a partner and help us join and grow on what's going on. And just be a good citizen of the news. Your opinion counts. Whether I agree with it or not is beside the point. I want your opinion. I want your truth. I want your honesty, because we need to know what more people are actually thinking. And feel free to this being a safe space, and we'll moderate the comments as best as possible to keep the meanies out of there, trolls from either side. But let's do 2025 up big, minus the missing that it's 2025. That part will fix it, and I'll fix it when the slide. It'll fix them in post, maybe. Probably not. We're done. Thank you for joining us for this romp around the world of news. We'll be covering the New Orleans crash. Not much we can say about it without sort of overhyping it all day and 4 days, of course, because this will be things that people will pay attention with during the football game this evening, and whatever pops up. If it's a Trump thing, if it's a Biden thing, if it's a you thing, we got it. You just let us know if you want to talk about it, because the conversation is all based off of what you want to talk